March the 4th, the last time I had anything to drink.
Of this year,
Last year,
of 24.
24.
But these charges were before then, so
It was before then, yes.
what made that day the day?
I don't know.
And just to be clear, of these prior convictions, how many of them are you disputing? Have you looked through the whole list?
No, I have not.
But
I don't remember. I can't keep up with all that,
call it 10,
maybe.
so you still got 31?
It's all in the past. It's all in the
Well,
past.
today's the day, and the past is the past, but the past matters.
Yes. That's why I stopped drinking. That's why I said, well, every time I get to drinking and stuff, I got problems. I'm drinking, I get problems. So I figured if I quit drinking and stay away from people that drinking and all this, I wouldn't have these problems.
I guess I understand the fact that you've identified the problem, but I have trouble with the fact that you still say the one conviction you have with your son-in-law, we'll call him that.
Yeah.
Are they married?
No.
Okay, can we call him the son-in-law?
Yes.
Is that fine? That's his fault because
I'm not saying for sure if it's his fault. We
You
was
just
all
did?
we was all drinking. I'm not saying I'll take the blame. I'm not trying to get out of none of this. I said we was drinking. We was all drunk. We was all sloppy drunk, and one thing led to another. I just, instead of arguing and whatever it was, I just told him to leave my property. That's the only thing that's what I told him, to leave my property. And all this comes down to this.
But going back to the, you said you pulled the gun out of your pocket.
He know I had a pistol in my pocket,
Why did you have it in your pocket?
cause he was kept pulling in his, pulling
When
like
did you
this.
put it in your pocket? Did you just keep it there all the time?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No.
So at what point during the evening did you go put it in your pocket?
As soon as he told me he was gonna do something to me.
So you went and got a gun that's not your gun, so that's not your fault. To pull it on somebody who supposedly threatened you, that's not your fault. And then even though the police said you were passed out on the porch and you admit you're drunk, that's not true either.
Yes, it's true. I was drinking.
And the gun wasn't on the patio?
Gun was in my pocket.
Okay. I don't have any other questions, Your Honor.
Antonino, you had other questions?
So you remember the cops coming up to your porch the night you were
do.
arrested?
I do.
Okay. And you remember them telling you to stand up?
I did.
And you remember them getting the pistol
They
out of
reached
your
Yes,
pocket?
they reached, one grabbed me on the right side, one grabbed me from the left, the other guy reached in, got the pistol out of my pocket.
And to be clear, sorry, I was hearing something. When your bond was revoked, you were still dealing with all three of these cases in general sessions, right?
I was.
Okay. And then they went through general sessions, and then you came up to circuit court and had an arraignment on all three of these cases. You were arraigned at the same time, am I right?
Yes,
And you had the public defender at the time?
yes.
Okay. And your case was in circuit court for, is that roughly almost a year or 9 months before your bond was revoked?
At least about a year or so. It might have been over a year.
Okay. Just because
Almost two, I think.
the state brought it up, we revoked your bond because you had all these cases.
Yes.
But the state didn't revoke your bond while you were in general sessions, correct?
No, sir.
And then while your case was in circuit court, you maintained your sobriety that whole time,
I
correct?
did.
Right. I don't think we could really say it any other way. Do you accept responsibility for what you've done?
I do. I really do. I mean, I'm very sorry for what I've done, but I accept responsibility of what I did do. I honestly do.
And you had a weapon in your house when you weren't supposed to have a weapon,
Yes,
correct?
that's true too.
And then the night with your son-in-law, you had a weapon that night as well, right?
Yes,
And you showed that weapon
to him, yes.
to him, but your daughter and your granddaughter were around as well.
No, they wasn't around. They was downstairs in the basement.
Well,
And
you
they
agree
found
that you
them.
at least
Yes. yeah,
pled guilty to the
yes,
attempted
yes,
assault.
I do, I do.
God forbid if something happened between you and your son-in-law and
Yes.
you guys were fighting, weapon could have accidentally discharged
It
and
could have.
someone could have been horribly hurt.
Anything could have happened.
Okay.
But, yeah,
And then you acknowledge, we got this fourth DUI.
yes.
So you accept responsibility for
I
what
do,
you did.
I do.
And when you saw that you were a part of the problem and your actions of drinking on a routine basis, you did something about it, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Do you intend to continue to do something about?
I am. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm done with it.
I have no other questions, Your Honor.
Will be anything else? Thank you, sir. You may step down and have a seat by your lawyer. Montanino, do you have any other witnesses? Do you have any rebuttal proof you wish to offer? Reluctant witness. Ms. James, if you'll come around, please. We're going to put you over on this side. You'll raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this case to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. All right, thank you.
Officer James, could you state and spell your name?
Wendy James, Wendyjames.
We had a brief conversation over here. You heard Mr. Henderson talk about maybe his identity being confused with his son who has the same name. Did you hear all that?
Yes.
Do you have any explanation or justification, validation, anything like that about whether that's true or not?
I know that all of the charges I entered were correct because I verified the birth date. There were charges on there previously,
From a prior pre-sentence report?
or just prior records that were
Right.
on there from being on probation in the past where they enter those. Someone else could have entered the wrong information.
That hearing had a little bit of everything. Judge David Wolfe presided over the sentencing of Eric Levoy Henderson, and what unfolded was a mix of accountability, personal testimony, and the court's effort to separate fact from confusion. Now in his early 60s, spoke candidly about his struggles with alcohol, saying March 4th, 2024 was the last time he had a drink. He admitted that every time he drank, he ended up with problems, and quitting was the only way forward. His demeanor was respectful and remorseful, acknowledging his record while trying to explain away some entries that he said belonged to his late son, who shared his name. He didn't deny responsibility for his own actions, but he insisted he was trying to change, adding he'd been sober throughout his recent bond revocation and circuit court proceedings. Cross-examination highlighted inconsistencies, particularly an incident where he pulled a gun during a drunken dispute with his daughter's boyfriend. Henderson admitted to it, conceding that he had no business with firearms as a felon, but tried to frame it as a reaction to feeling threatened. Prosecutors pressed the danger. If things had escalated, his granddaughter could have been nearby. Henderson accepted responsibility, repeating that he knew alcohol fueled his worst decisions and that he was determined to stay sober. The courtroom tone was serious but not hostile. Henderson came across as earnest, contrite, and weary, trying to close the chapter on decades of poor choices. To verify the accuracy of his long rap sheet, probation officer Wendy James testified. She explained that while some old reports might have contained mistakes, she had personally verified Henderson's record against his birth date and stood by the charges she included in the presentence report. Judge Wolfe listened carefully, pressing for clarity without rushing, ensuring the record was clean before moving forward. Attorneys stayed professional, defense highlighting Henderson's sobriety, prosecution focusing on the risks he created, and the judge kept the balance between empathy and accountability. It was less about theatrics and more about truth, credibility, and whether the court could trust Henderson's stated commitment to change. If you found this hearing insightful, consider subscribing, hitting the bell, and letting me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every one.